And welcome back once again to the PCS Spring Split Playoffs. It has been an absolute back and forth series with J-Team snatching victory from the jaws of an outscaling defeat, it would seem. They find a miracle of a fight and really good usage of a Renata Glass ultimate to turn things around in their favor. But we have got one heck of a series. Before we get into Game Force Pick and Ban, I do want to take a moment to thank once again our sponsors, CTBC Bank and Caliber, for making PCS possible. Now, Nightstar, we had to go take a breather after that one, and I think the teams did too. Back onto the Rift, we should have Deep Cross blue side this time around. How does that shift the strategy in the pick and ban?
Well, it looks like as it stands in all three games, it might be an Aphelios priority going through the rest of this series. We saw J-Team swapped over to the blue side and first picked the Aphelios. I don't think the Aphelios had a whole lot of impact in this game, to be honest, as he ended up getting outranged by the Jinx and then also struggled to move forward in these fights because of the terrain control offered by both Ornn and that and the Veigar, right? So
yeah,
it was very difficult for him to actually get into the fights, but in the end, that was the AD carry that won the game, so maybe that ends up being the focus the next two games.
Yeah, I feel like every one of these games I say to myself, oh, that's got to be a bit of an outlier, things are going to change, and then it somehow gets even weirder in the next game. So based on that trend, I'm really curious to see what we get here. So DCG on the blue side, their bans so far so similar, and then we're back to J-Team on the red side banning out the Ahri as well as the Zeri. So at least this much has stayed consistent.
We're going to a throwback, and if things stay the same, then we're going to get that first pick Aphelios. So
there it is.
There it is. Okay, J-Team, how do you respond? They can take away the Nautilus because, again, Lil V did not perform well against it. And then they just instantly snap up the Viego, already saying, hey, you know, Kongya, Lee Sin, that was great. You made some plays, but we need a little bit more of the scaling factor from the jungle. So yeah, that's why
the pop-off was good.
Yeah, found his moments. Although, okay,
Han mixes it up too. He goes Lee Sin himself. He's been playing nothing but Volibear games when he's gotten the opportunity. So that changes it just a little bit. Nesty back on a comfortable champion. Of course, the Jinx is the handshake play for Lil V now. Even though the Xayah was up and available, I think J-Team definitely realized maybe playing for later game is a good idea.
Yes. More scaling, definitely appreciated. And now, I think J-Team, they should go ahead, ban away the Renata, as that would be a possible option for the side of DCG. They're really thinking about this second ban because they could also look to try and maybe get the TF ban, or actually they don't need a ban TF, but maybe the Gangplank ban. I think it's something that they're considering because of how annoying it is to deal with that ultimate. Now for DCG, you're looking at bans. Maybe they go ahead and ban away the Zoe, but the Orianna pick also really good ban here because again, you have a lot of champions that are just kind of sprinting forward. J-Team, they will go back towards this Renekton pick.
All right, bold move by Driver after getting a little spanked by the Ornn from Leaky, although we might see a very different matchup here in the top of so many top lane bans thrown away. Okay, so if Leaky goes on this Camille, man, that is a lot of mobility. This is just dive buddies, plus Aphelios, of course. So there it goes with the answer. And we still have the potential Renata. I feel like you probably want something that can even follow up on this dive. You get 3-4 man if you want. But I could be wrong.
Could still be the Renata. Of course, you have a lot of terrain control with the Hextech Ultimatum. Maybe you boot someone straight into the hostile takeover. And overall, I would say that the lane phase, given that you know it's a Nautilus, is pretty solid. We'll see what value we get out of the hostile takeover, though, as that will be the key factor. And now it looks like J-Team, they're just adopting the two-man carry squad.
I love it.
That DCG had in the previous game.
I love it. They're going to put Uniboy on the Viger, let him try his luck at it up against Nesty in this matchup. So late game, it just gets absolutely disgusting. They have a couple of reset champions. The matchup in top, doesn't necessarily mean too much if Driver loses it by comparison. I think Kongye could make a play or two up here as well. And you can see DCG, they're going to try to play, I think, a little more defensive, right? Renata for the counter engage, the Leaky, of course, with the Ignite to prevent the all-in from Driver. This is going to be an interesting game number 4, Nightstar.
Yeah, and for the side of DCG, they've really changed things up. It's a much more pick-oriented composition. You have the Camille, you have the Rise, you have the Lee Sin. You're very much focused around snowballing around this early game and then setting up for the 1-3-1 or the 1-4, playing around this Camille. So that means the early game is going to be really paramount. Hana really needs to find early ganks this time around. If he isn't able to find impact on this Lee Sin, he will drop off into absolute obscurity this game against the Veigar and the Jinx. So I love this composition from J-Team a lot more than DCG, but there is a lot of possibilities to get snowballed around the Camille, especially, again, it's a nerfed Renekton.
Yeah, and we've seen in the skill matchup, Leaky's definitely had the better openers here up against the side of Driver more often than not. I think Gangplank is kind of the equalizing factor there, but since he's been removed from the pool, things get a little more interesting as they realize how important that is to try and deny some of these pushes, especially if you want to go for a more dive-oriented or pick-oriented comp. So we get on to the Rift. J-Team with a game ahead could close the series out here and set up that matchup against PSG Talon in the lower bracket finals. But Deep Cross Gaming, they can keep this one going. The trend so far has been teams trading wins back and forth. So we'll see if that is going to continue. ST on the rise, facing off against a champion he's pretty familiar with in that Veigar. Uniboy, this will be his first time on it in this split.
And it's also going to be the Predator Veigar coming in from Uniboy. So
it's
he wants to match the roam potential coming in from Rise. We'll see how he performs on this pick. As I think it does very well into the composition of DCG. It's just a matter of execution, of course. Especially after a grueling Game 3. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what the compositions are because of the emotional and mental toll of the first 3 games that your micro decision making doesn't become as clean. You make mistakes, you forget to flash, you hold on to summoner spells. So those will be mistakes to perhaps keep track of in this critical game number 4.
Yeah, and some of the execution wasn't the cleanest even in game 1, so we could definitely be in for some back and forth. We have seen both these squads on a micro and macro level take advantage of the unforced errors, so it could be potentially deadly. As we get underway, Leaky and Driver trading out a little bit. Just some blades crossing as Woody and Criscata getting the leash. Do mean they arrive a little bit later down on the bottom side. Woody going to have to cede ground there. That's a quick hook by Enzo. And Lil V finds some damage, but the trade is evened out on to the Nautilus.
Yeah, and with this coming in from both supports, these health trades aren't going to matter a whole lot until we run out of those sustained tools. Oh, level 2 hit by both bot lanes.
Ooh, okay, they get the pushback. Enzo just walked right up, try and set things up. It's been very aggressive, especially this Enzo Little V side of the matchup in this series. We haven't seen as many straight-up 2v2s, though, and I do think you want to credit Woody and Criscata a little bit on that one.
Yeah, and I mean, J-Team have put a lot of focus in making sure they snag up this Nautilus pick for themselves. Lil V shown can't really play up against it. And so far, DCG, I mean, they were able to get some hooks to land in game number 1, but not as effective.
Okay,
here.
here's Hana.
Okay.
He said he needed to get these ganks early on. He's trying for the setup with Nesty. Would be able to safeguard. Nesty doesn't have a whole lot of mana to work with, though, so the kill threat not going to be as helpful. I think he realizes it might be a bit of a lost cause. Nesty walks into the Vigar cage.
Plus 1 AP.
Out. Now the dive is going to come in top. Yeah, plus 1 AP. It still counts.
Let's see if they can get the dive off. They're also bringing Nesty over.
Okay,
he goes here.
Kongye as well. That's the turnabout into the Spectral Maw, and now Hana's forced to flash, followed through. Driver really wants that first blood, and it's going to be Kongye that secures it.
That's
they
3.
do turn it about.
Should be 3.
Driver. 1, 2, Nesty isolated, and with the takeaway of the Camille, it's a double kill, and Kongye is on the board.
It's a disaster, Pyro! That's a triple kill for J-Team at 4 minutes. We talked about, hey, in these first couple games, it's been really slow. But the action... Okay. I was going to say, it still continues.
A lot faster. Let's take a look at that replay. Man, Hana and Leaky got way more than they bargained for here.
Yeah, they try and get the dive onto Driver, but Driver recognizes he is going to get dove, so he starts cutting back towards his tier 2 tower, and this flash doesn't quite pay off, but it gets him low enough that Kongye able to get the first blood, and then it's just about swapping bodies, still able to pick Lee Sin, even though they didn't take Lee Sin, and it results in a double kill for Viego, and
he's
also
all the bad guys.
1 kill. Yeah. Also 1 kill for Uniboy. So he, Uniboy, very comfortable. Kongye, extremely comfortable.
And Driver kind of just banking off the fact that they knew they were going to be keying off him. And yeah, he's losing this matchup, sure. But mission accomplished. Kongye's got 2 kills. Uniboy's got 1. This game, if J-Team intend to make it go late, I mean, Driver's job, as he knows it, is going to be going for just becoming that late game stat stick. And he's not even going for really combat early on anyways. He's got the Cole.
He's actually gone for the Cole. I'm very interested in seeing if Driver continues to go for the Gourd Drinker build. Just knowing that all around the stats have been lowered. Maybe he goes for something like a Stride Breaker. Maybe he goes for a support item. Who knows? But they're going to try again. If you first don't succeed, bring the level 6 rise.
All right, Nesty. Hana and Leaky weren't quite ready for this one, so a slice of dice. He actually dodges out the Q by totally predicting it, but I don't think he gets out of the way. Uniboy is going to try to make him pay for it. Hana safeguards and nearly bites it. Oh,
Uniboy does
just
flash.
barely out.
Okay.
All right, this is going to be Dragon for J-Team at the very least. So they do trade a kill for that, and it's a pretty heavy investment on the DCG side.
Yeah, but, I mean, you feel like if you're the side of DCG or if you're a DCG fan, it's worth it to a certain degree because now you have a massive advantage up top side. 25 CS gap, you have the level advantage on the Camille. There's also a Camille with Ignite, so this Renekton will never be able to walk up to this Camille down a level. As we can see, like they've already they've even said like, hey, Uniboy, you have flash up still, you also have more range. We'll set you up in the side lane for the time being and wait for Driver to maybe get a little bit more gold under his belt to then be able to actually walk forward into this Camille.
I like this adaptation here because it means that they can at least start pushing there on the top side and keeping Leaky a little on the back foot. I thought they might here, but Kongye ended up going back into his own jungle, so the delayed swap happens. They do deny a little bit of farm away from Leaky, but unfortunately for Driver, he doesn't pick nearly as much up himself. He'd love to get this plate gold, so that's what he's sticking around for.
Yeah, but Leaky's trying to zone him off, and, I mean, he gets the play, but honestly, I fully expect the Leaky to just go for the trade, go for the all-in, because of the extra, level difference and that Ignite, but doesn't have any assistance coming up topside anytime soon, so he kind of plays a little bit more respectfully. That will be first Rift Herald going to J-Team. I think that's the first Rift Herald. for them.
And I want to say First Dragon as well. They've definitely started to get a lot better at these early objective plays, and I think that's a testament to really recognizing what Deep Cross are trying to do.
Knowing that, hey, they're just going to play exclusively around top side, we can make a play.
All right, Nesty gonna walk it through into the
Nesty
Spectral Maul. Can't really dodge that one out. Good night. That's a third kill for Kongye, and they should be able to get a little bit of damage on this tower, maybe even a plate off of it, but Hana's incoming. And they're out. This could be a Kongye carry game. We might be seeing HK Kongye again.
Could be a bit of a throwback here as recalls come through. I'm already.
That's a 9-minute Divine Sunderer. I mean, yeah, like again, like Viego is not quite as like ridiculous as Driver does fine the stun off on Leaky. Okay, adaptive defenses, he's fine. Yeah, like it's Kongye, right? Like when this guy gets a few kills, like he's gonna start doing some crazy stuff, and you just gotta keep your eye on that Viego.
I almost want him to just.
Oh,
okay, Chris got
a little caught out. That is going to be the land onto the Flame Chomper.
Beautiful
The Rocket tries to get the outplay, but they can still delay him. Lil V, with a little help from Enzo, does manage to find the kill while the Renata's away.
A lot of effort expended to snag that kill, but at the same time, Kriskana expends both of his summoners, just trying to play the lane without his support there. Instantly gets turned on for the side of J-Team. Great look for them, and all of a sudden J-Team, after that game number 3 where it looked like they were just at a standstill trying to figure out what to do on the map until the very end, this is a completely different game. They are on held to the metal here, and Kongye
our path. He goes all the way for the full wraparound, looking to cut off, and Leaky looking for that outplay, that dodge.
Not enough damage.
Yeah, Heartbreaker, he's not going to get it. Oh man, they just clean it up, and even Uniboy's coming to the party. It seems like J-Team just has the map movement on lockdown, and they should be able to get this with a Herald drop. I think they're holding it. There it goes.
Yeah, there it goes. And I love this play coming in. You have the Renekton take the back. Why? Because you don't want him taking gold away from your two big carries, this Veigar and this Viego. And now they might even be able to get the second tower. This is massive for them because they are already so far accelerated. This is a bad teleport.
Yeah, and it doesn't even get to complete
kill.
Right now. Leaky's going down. Another to Uniboy. He just responds. Is Shelly going to get a third charge? No, okay, all right. We're not that crazy, but still. Oh, no.
Oh.
Deep Cross, the wheels are coming off at the wrong moment.
Oh, my Lord. That just might be the final blows here.
This is a late game scaling comp, and they're steamrolling early. I mean, there are two Coles on J-Team.
Yes. And they know they can go Cull because the side of DCG, there's no answers coming out from them to pressure these Cull users, even the Renekton. Like, buying Cull on Renekton should not ever happen. Why? Because Cull, you're looking at scale. And
are you saying Renekton Cull is troll?
I'm saying Renekton doesn't scale enough that the extra gold matters. But in this instance, like, why not get free 180 gold here because the rest of your map is winning? You're a glorified point-and-click support anyways.
Whoop.
But Kongye... Okay.
Kongye, a little bit aggressive there,
Enzo's
as to be
here,
expected.
Though.
So is Enzo as well. They've actually managed to catch Woody. Here comes the hostile takeover, but they can still turn it around. The knockup will come through. Kongye wants the kill, but Nesty's gonna deny him here. And they're gonna take the blast cone out to safety. Driver says, hey, I want to get in on this too, but the fight's already over.
Yeah, and you actually see Uniboy forced to flash because he saw that Camille was starting to path over coming in. And he would have been just pinched out if that was the case. So burns a flash earlier, so he saves a lot of HP. That allows the side of J-Team to actually get this second dragon. But now look at this gold difference. It's 6,000 gold at 13 minutes.
It's massive right now, and a lot of that is in on Kongye. Nesty trying to dance away through the cage of the Veigar. He's able to avoid massive damage, but that is just stemming the bleeding.
Look at the plates!
Yeah,
Look at that plate
it's
difference.
10-3, man. That's a lot of gold right there. About 1,200 or 1,120, I should say. And all the kills are on the carries.
On the most important carries, the Renekton. No, he's the
got
only one.
He can have one kill as a treat.
Yeah, we need to give him a snack here or there, you know? But, I mean, DCG, they'll get one back before plates disappear, but it is still only a couple of plates as Enzo lands.
They pull Nesty in. He's rooted, but I think Enzo
he's too far.
Off a little more than he could chew into the Hextech ultimatum. Nesty's able to finish him off, but here comes the turnabout.
Oh, Uniboy.
Kongye looking for. They've already got one shutdown onto Uniboy. Kongye turns 180 and runs. That was a bit of a wonky fight. Exactly.
Uniboy walked through. Did he take like 3 tower shots there? That was a wild one.
That was a bit sus, is what I will say.
That's where you go all chat plus however much AP you got worth.
Oh no!
Because that's all he got out of that.
Okay,
exchange.
all right. Let's see what's happening here. I mean, Enzo's the one who tanks to begin with.
This is a pretty good setup, right? You throw it on the cage.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. You're able to chain the hook with the Everfrost pretty easily. But then look, Uniboy's just like, I must have.
That's just greed right there. That's classic greed. Kongye was like 2 seconds away.
Oh, that's definitely very rough. And now Hana able to snag the second rift, or not the second rift arrow. Actually, the second rift arrow snags up by Kongye. So 2 for 2 on Rift Heralds. A very different objective game coming out from J-Team in this 4th game and possibly series clinching game.
Ooh. Driver moving in onto Leaky, but Leaky got a kill back in that one. You got to remember, there's a level advantage though for the Renekton as he tanks a tower shot. Got to be careful there. Driver's got a little more sustain. It might be a nerfed build and a nerfed champion, but he can still make it work for him as they take down the tower bottom side. And Uniboy and Kongye leading into their Shelly charge. I don't think Nesty can hold the line here. Deep Crosser spread too thin.
Yep. And now we'll see if they look for a dive attempt. Charge goes
try.
Through.
Nesty does get the Rune Prison down onto Uniboy. Oh, no. Oh, that rocket came in, and Nesty was able to get away in time. Teleport expended to try and keep the push going. And, okay, the pull-in on the handshake, it doesn't really matter. A lot of
5v5
movements across the map. Everybody, man, this is becoming an ARAM of a series here. But Driver and Kongye going to run face first into Leaky and Woody. Here we go, the tag forward. Kongye is still threatening Blast Cone to disengage. And, ooh, you cannot pause for a second. You might miss the action.
Whew. All right. Take a quick breather.
6K gold advantage though. It should not feel this close.
Yeah, I mean both of these teams finding their ways back, even though the gold really says that it should be really one-sided, right? Game number 2 up against a 8K gold lead for most of the game. J-Team were still able to find picks to slow things down. And now in this game number 4, DCG, they're losing. They've lost pretty much everything, but still, it only takes a pick or two. Get that Camille going, and all of a sudden you don't have any answers on the side lane. But as it stands now, both of these top laners looking a little bit like glorified punching bags.
Yeah, Leaky has not really been able to get the dive plays on after that second one kind of fell apart. Or the first one, I should say, kind of fell apart there. The counter collapse from J-Team just a little bit too strong. And we had a hard time recovering from it. He's going to still try to be a side lane terror. Tiamat on, including the Divine Sunderer as well. And Dragon in 10 seconds. This will be a Cloud for the Rift this time around.
This will be 3rd Dragon for J-Team if they're able to snag it. Also a number to keep track of, 174 farm on Uniboy when it comes to these AP stacks. So he is much further ahead on the curve. Leaky, though, not able to get any flank angles, but he is starting to walk up.
Yeah, this Dragon Down to about half its health. Hana was going to look for a steal.
way too
There
fast.
he goes in. Actually grabs
steal,
it.
okay.
Not even the
But the
smite,
fight.
the fight's going through. Here comes Driver now. The rocket does peg onto
Oh,
everybody from
big
deep cross, but
takeover.
a massive hostile takeover. And Glass
it's done,
Industries
okay.
is turning things around. But do they have enough? A second win for JT. Moonlight Vigil going to be turned once again into the X ultimate, but Leaky's the lead. JT have blasted them out.
And now the chase is on.
Okay, that's the
Uniboy.
handshake. Standing aside here.
Predator.
He's trying. The Heartbreaker turns his attention over to Criscata. Uniboy can finish off Woody. And with the hook, Enzo, the minion intercepts. Here comes Kongye to finish the fight. And that is going to be a 4-4. Whoa, 2. My goodness. A 1, excuse me. I can't math. It doesn't matter. This game's crazy.
Oh my lord, Pyra. I think that just might be it. That could be the fight that decides really the momentum of this game. J-Team, yes, DCG are able to find the steal. The cage doesn't quite come down fast enough to prevent Lee Sin from getting in, but
What a close
you can
fight.
see they're just so much stronger on their carries. They control so much space. With this Veigar, it's just so hard to navigate, and they try and come back into it. Leaky goes in with the Hextech ultimatum at the very end, but it's not enough because, I mean, through all of that, the Jinx still had her summoner spells up, and there's just more AP coming into this Veigar. The more you fight, the more you fall flat. You're just channeling more and more takedowns. Remember, on this Veigar, you get 5 AP per takedown in addition to being able to farm stacks when you hit champions with your skills. It's just... this Veigar is already at the point that Nesty was when he was at 25 minutes. He's like 5 minutes ahead of the curve.
He is, and that's great for him because this game is probably not going to be going nearly as late, right? Because you've got a 5-0 Viego. They can just do stuff like this, starting the Baron with 3 members right now. Lil V's around the side. Driver's not even anywhere near here, and he just had to be teleporting in. So they're going to peel off it because it's still a little bit of a risky play right now. But despite the best efforts of Deep Cross to turn that fight, it just looked better on the second half. I love that both of these comps are really just saying, all right, well, I can use your champions better than you because you got a hostile takeover versus the Viego. Leaky going to find Driver on the side lane here, but he should get back to the relative safety of the tower. Leaky's got to respect it. And, well, we have been here before. The good old PCS Baron dance. There's the engage.
Also
Find
the
Hana.
pick.
They've got the damage, and a bailout's not going to keep it alive for very long, even with the hostile takeover. They outlived, they outlasted with the teleport in from Driver. This is going to be the start to the Baron. No smite steal available, so they know it's not a 50-50, but they don't want to lose the fight on the back half anyways. Maybe cage down, they don't find the damage they're looking for. Dark Matter doesn't land.
Okay, the root comes through, but no flank angles established by either of these teams, so it's very hard for this fight to break out. Enzo doesn't have the flash on the Nautilus to make a hook play, and now it's going to be a mid lane push coming in from DCG. They're using that priority to shift back towards the Baron, maybe remove some of the wards, but they actually just shift upwards to just try and put a little bit of stress onto J-Team. J-Team, they're not worried. They already have that control ward in the pit, and it will be a reset. But even though it's a reset, the reset's not the same because J-Team, 8k gold lead. And with Dragon coming up in 1 minute, do DCG fight it? That's the question, because it feels like, again, they're on a bit of a timer when it comes to the 5v5. So they might feel compelled to try and fight this, but soon, like, Leaky is going to hit the 2 items. Once he hits 2 items, he can take the 1v1. He can set up for the 1-4. It's just a matter of, are they patient enough to allow it to happen?
I don't know. Feeling like some itchy trigger fingers here, I think. J-Team are the ones running forward, though. They want to try to find the chase. Spectral Maw doesn't find its target, but they do ping on to Baron. And they're going to start this one off. It is a very big lead, and I think they've actually caught Deep Cross snoozing at the moment, even though
Leaky doesn't have teleport.
No teleport, yeah. Leaky can't get in this fight right now. Hana would have to go for the 50-50.
They're blasting it too fast.
Enzo's body blocking. I think this goes down the way of J-Team. And the fight's on. Moonlight Vigil's going to land a little bit late. Can they get out of here?
Just gonna try and get out.
In the pit. Driver gonna slash dash his way to freedom. There's gonna be the Heartbreaker out.
Leaky's
Here's the
going
Leaky
in.
follow.
Wait.
Pulls in. Goes golden. That's the turnaround. The hostile takeover gets tanked, but they don't really have a whole lot of follow-up damage, and they're just trying to get out of there. The double root from the Moonlight Vigil will
Enzo?
land, and Enzo, he is going to limp away. All 5 members of J-Team have the Baron.
Oh, and J-Team, they get the Baron and get out. Now they're at a 10k gold advantage for the side of DCG. It's all about getting position and try and clear out as many of these waves. I don't think they're even going to look to challenge for this dragon, but Hongre,
they get nothing.
Okay.
Deep Cross get nothing. They're going to get a top tower tier 1 out of this. Leaky's supposed to be the side laner anyways. J-Team are getting everything.
Will be third dragon for the side of J-Team as well. I mean, this was a dragon you weren't going to contest regardless because of the extra Baron buff stats to allow you to fight. But now, like, look at how much armor is already stacked up coming in from the side of J-Team. You have armor boots coming around. Now Union Boy coming in. Okay.
All right. 2 cages right now, but who will be leaving at the end? Leaky taking a lot of damage.
Could just kill with the ult.
Close to flash forward, and hits the delete button. Uniboy taking him down on the side lane. Now it's going to be J-Team looking for this mid-tier 2. Enzo going in with the hook. Lil B running wild with the Jinx rockets. Here comes Driver around the side. And they might just be funneling them into certain danger. What a slice, what a dice, and what a call to me. Kongye is able to clean things up with the kill. And now they're right back into it. Nightstar, I think J-Team are looking oh so strong. And they are looking at a lower bracket finals against PSG Talent if they can close this game out.
Got the minion wave there. They also have another up top side. Woody, very far, going to respawn. So
this should be at least an inhibitor.
Yes.
Maybe 2?
Oh, if they find one pick.
Oh, Lil V is... Oh, my goodness. Lil V! No, he stepped too far forward. Gets peeled back. And
but he still has GA.
They're forced into the fight. That's going to be the resurrection. But he gets away on the fast-fingered flash. Moonlight Vision comes through. Cascada can't quite delete him. The rocket goes wide. Here goes Leaky denied. And J-Team are just trying to play on the edge. The shutdown goal, they go too far forward. Finally on the retreat path, the J-Team, man, they just did not know when to quit.
Now Leaky just trying to tease them just a little bit, but DCG hold on to their base. And even more importantly, they are able to get one pick, very crucial pick, as it's a big shutdown onto Lil V.
He was so far forward. Look at this.
Yeah, he just runs in, gets kicked, gets picked off, goes into the res, and the hostile takeover creates a lot of space, but yeah, he just eats a little bit too much. But I mean,
Lil V had like 3 chances to leave, and he didn't. Like, now he's dead.
Calibro
okay, cool.
Finally finishes him off, but you can see just the drawbacks of this composition. They just can't get access onto the important targets. And now long flank coming in from Leaky, but there are 3 people here. It would be a 1v3 if he went. He needs the collapse to come in from the rest of his squad. At the very least, it's a long con flank if they start hitting the tower.
This one. Uniboy gonna shepherd the minions through. The rest of J-Team not far away, just out of vision. Here's Leaky. Keep your eyes on him. I think they're gonna see this one coming, and I think they're gonna be able to take the 5v5. They got eyes on Rise.
Oh, they did drop the ward into that bush over there.
Teleport Driver to keep that to short range. Woody gets nearly deleted. Yeah, they just want to keep this one going. That's a big root right now, Leaky. Here's the flank. This is going to be the desperate fight for Deep Cross to try and turn their favor.
Oh, Jinx
their fortunes. Hana, they take down Lil V.
Is it enough?
But the turnabout, you've already lost the jungler. Enzo, Leaky can't quite stay alive. Driver just keeps them all occupied for the rest of it. He will finally go down, but into the cage goes Nesty. Too tanky to die, but he still can't dish the damage. J-Team are on the offensive despite losing Lil V, despite losing Driver. They're going to be marching in, looking for inhib number 3 and maybe more. Can Cascada, Nesty, and Woody save the game? The answer is yes.
There's enough wave clear coming in from Aphelios and Rise to hold the game still. However, J-Team, it just feels like DCG are just holding on by really their fingertips, by their fingernails. And it was a great ult coming in from Woody, right, being able to time it right when Jinx comes out of that stopwatch. And I mean, that makes the big difference in this particular fight. If Jinx stays alive there, that's just game over.
This series is so hard to analyze in terms of like who has the edge. I've never seen fights go this close when the team has like 6, 7, 8, 9,000 gold lead. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Renata Glass showing her value in this particular game.
Here's the Baron.
Yep, Baron's going to get taken. DCG, they can't do anything about it. That's the issue, right? Because you have 6 super minions coming in every single wave, 2 in each lane. But DCG, they will be able to snag themselves this Cloud Dragon. So that puts them at 2 Cloud Dragons. More importantly, it gives you extra gold. Yes, it's a small amount of gold, but it's still an objective bounty nonetheless.
Deny the soul right now, right? You definitely don't want to give J-Team the win more advantage. Now, Hana's going on the long flank himself, but he will be spotted by the lane ward coming in. J-Team, will they fall for it again? Leaky's going to be backing away. He has a teleport if he wants to use it for the flank himself. So many supers, they've actually got to catch on. On to the Aphelios. Criscata, can he stay alive? Leaky holding the line here. Big Moonlight Vigil. They've lost one Nexus turret. Here comes Hana. Arrived. Can they actually turn this around? Those health bars are so low for J-Team right now.
Criscata.
Here goes Kongye for the play, taking down Criscata. That's absolutely gotta be the game over. It's way harder than it had any right to be. As Deep Cross Gaming collapses at the end, J-Team will take the series 3-1 and move forward to the lower bracket finals to face PSG South.
It was strenuous. It was stressful. Oh, so tense in these 4 games. It did not feel like a 4-game series, Pyra. It looked like
it did.
We were going through 7. And there was just the tension was just immense in these past 3 games.
This was J-Team in the multiverse of madness. This was absolute bonkers. How do you analyze it, League of Legends? So many crazy fights that had no right to be as close as they were. A 3-1 result doesn't seem to even do it justice. You're right. I feel like this could have easily been a 5-game series. But J-Team just had the clutch factor. Got to give it to Kongye and crew to get it done.
Yeah, and when it is times are darkest, Kongye, just like that, man, come in, swoop in, save the day.
Yeah, Kongye definitely set things up. I mean, Uniboy had some good plays this series as well, but we're definitely seeing Kongye after the last couple of games start to come back in and really put his carry pants back on. I think the Lee Sin plays were good, but it just wasn't enough. These games went too long. They went too crazy. You start to fall off pretty hard, and it's so interesting to see what roles the individual games really hinged on. And I mean, for Deep Cross, this has got to be a painful one because they came in looking like they had a pretty good shot. They were the hot shots that had upended the apple cart on J-Team in game number 1 of our entire spring split. But it seems like J-Team, they managed to find answers. They managed to find wins. I think this is a team that is had its fair share of ups and downs. Nice start, but they pulled it out today.
Yeah, J-Team, I mean, even coming into the playoffs, I was saying probably a lot different from what the other casters were saying. I didn't have J-Team ranked as high, but given that DCG also looked so flat towards the end of the season, they also they had a lot of struggles to really answer for. And I think in the first couple of series, we got those answered from them, but in the lower bracket, they could only find that victory over Frank Esports. And against J-Team, I think J-Team, they themselves grew a lot in the past couple of series.
Well, and they certainly had a lot of series to play through it, right? I mean, that back and forth with Megabank Beyond Gaming. I think J-Team have definitely gone through the gauntlet here. They will progress forward to face off against PSG Talon, try and knock them off their perch and make it an all J-Teamer finals up against CFO. It's a possibility. I mean, this is definitely a new day in the PCS, but this was, man, this series was so hard to predict in so many ways. It went very back and forth, and finally J-Team strung two wins together. But even the way they won Game 3, I mean, it was very much going against them until they managed to turn that fight. It felt like Renata Glask and Viego were like the big picks of the last couple of games, and they made them work for them.
Yeah, the Renata Glask almost pulled these team fights, right? Because of how much damage Lil V was doing to his own team with the AoE rockets. And I mean, the damage chart there for JT really showcasing Univoy, how accelerated he was on this Veigar pick. And once you're accelerated with this pick, you're already such a hard scaling champion. You just snowball out of control because of how fast, once the first stacks come in, then the stacks just keep rolling in. It's almost a bank plank at that point.
Yeah, it kind of, for Nesty, it's a little unfortunate that this is how his playoff run is going to end at the spring split, getting very outplayed on a champion that he sort of made a pretty big name for himself on. But Uniboy is just, you know, I came into this playoffs thinking that he had a champ pool issue, that he was going to have problems if he didn't get one of these assassins. But he plays Victor in game number 1. And he plays it to a T. He plays this Veigar in game number 4. I think, based on this series, that assertion is out the window until proven otherwise.
Now, he's really diversified from the regular season, and
he's a graduate boy now.
I mean, living up to his talk during that interview, right? We were at the end of the Beyond Gaming series, as we get to see the MVP. It is going to be Konge 90% kill participation, and he was just on fire from start to end of this game.
This is why you always have to respect the Konge carry factor, not just on a champion like Viego, but especially that. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere, and he will put out the damage. Almost 20% as a jungler, pretty solid, pretty respectable. Puts his carry pants on, and, you know, he's always got that ability. Sure, he can set his team up for success in multiple ways, but it is really good to see this side of Konge come out when it is needed the most, and J-Team take a win in this one to close the series out. Man, what a day we've had, and we still got a couple more series to go, but we have got ourselves a quick break before we take an interview with our winners, J-Team and Urichu. We'll be right back after this.